Godfrey has now weighed in on the tragic death of Professor Jason Arday. And on the latest episode of In Godfrey We Trust, Godfrey and Dante Nero don't treat Arday's story as simply another academic controversy. To them, it's part of something much bigger: race, immigration, Britain's colonial history, and what they believe is a growing willingness to openly attack successful black people.
Oh, and another thing, I want to talk about that Professor Arday, too.
Arday.
In England. He was the youngest professor.
Oh, yeah.
Cambridge? Is Cambridge?
Cambridge.
Show the guy Arday, and he said it's suicide.
What?
Suicide. Because when he got the position, they accused him of plagiarism. And this guy, can you believe it? This guy, really smart. He was like the youngest academic and professor at Cambridge. Yeah, at Cambridge.
Well, there's a whole, in England, there's a whole movement, and just in Europe in general, this anti-blackness.
Yeah.
And there's, now, one thing, I mean, if you know anything about the history, there's always been anti-blackness in England. But the difference was, there used to be a politeness about it. So even if they were racist, they weren't. They were
like, hello.
How are you? They wouldn't even they wouldn't even say. There was a time when they wouldn't even say the P word, the Pakistani or whatever.
Would you like some tea?
Yeah. So, but now there's this movement to openly and verbally be racist in England, where it's almost like it's acceptable because they have the same thing that's going on here, this white nationalist movement, and they love Trump. Those white boys who are around in England who are not around black people because they come from these country towns, and they're coming into the city, into London. They're burning a lot of the Indians and the Pakistani hotels up. Because this is Trump and they're Brexit, because the whole Brexit thing was because they didn't want to allow immigrants to come in, so they're going through the same thing.
You can't because you brought Indians in for your war because you was. Stop.
They came and occupied for 200 years.
Yeah, they come to India.
And we come there and they're like, they came. Like, fuck you.
The plagiarism allegations were never proven in a formal investigation. Liverpool John Moores University had previously investigated complaints and found no academic misconduct. But newer allegations were still being disputed when Arday resigned from Cambridge. An inquest into Arday's death is scheduled to open today at London Inner South Coroner's Court. And that's important because the Jason Arday story is still developing.
Yo, and the Professor Arday, by the way, real quick, the guy that was hounding him is the guy who just got fired from Gentry University. Who's the white dude, the pipsqueak looking, that rat fink?
What about his?
He just got fired. Oh. He was the one shitting on him. He did not plagiarize.
Right. I'm just saying who was fucking with him.
It was this fucking pipsqueak of a fucking watch. And then he wants to say anti-Semitism. You're a Jewish man and you're shitting on a black man. I'm getting so tired of that shit.
I think is he also LGBTQ?
No, he is. Yeah.
He's gay. So I think that's
No, there he is. There's that little fucking rat right there. Him. Yes, he was the one that started the campaign where they were bum rushing him. It's him, and he was so angry and jealous. Yeah, because he didn't get the position. Yes, show the guy's face. You just had it.
Godfrey sees Kofnas as part of a wider ideological campaign against black achievement. Kofnas has openly described himself as a race realist and previously lost his position at Emmanuel College after controversial writings about race. He has now also been suspended from Ghent University while it conducts a preliminary disciplinary investigation. But Kofnas has now given his first interview since Arday's death. And his answer when asked about responsibility was striking.
So now that's a very tricky question, right? I did take an action which set off a series of events that led to a tragic outcome. If I say that I'm not responsible, then it sounds like kind of I don't appreciate the consequences of what happened. if I say I am responsible, I mean, what are the implications of that? You have to be allowed to critique such people, even if there's some risk that they will take it the wrong way or feel very bad about it.
A childhood friend named Sam Clark has now spoken publicly about the Jason Arday he remembers. Clark says Arday was clearly a child with special needs. His younger brother remembers Jason as nonverbal for a period of childhood and remembers him being taken out of class with children receiving additional support.
Everyone remembers Jason's smile. I don't think anyone who met him at any time wouldn't remember. He just had the most wonderful smile. And yeah, he remembered him very fondly from that age. He remembered, he remembered him as a not speaking is how my brother says. He remembers that, and he remembers that he used to go out to taken out with the special needs kids. He just almost seemed to have no fear. He would just do things, and he just had this idea that he was going to do something amazing all the time. Going back to when we were 16, my dad, who's no longer with us, was really he really loved Jason, and what's Jason doing now? And at the time he was becoming really good at snooker, which wasn't normal for a kid of his background, to say the least. Snooker clubs in those days in South London were very much like white working class kind of old school vibes, and he's this kid with of African immigrant parents, and he went in and really learned how to play snooker.
Meanwhile, anger has increasingly shifted toward Cambridge itself. A statement from Cambridge students, staff and alumni hosted by the Good Law Project is demanding the resignation of Vice-Chancellor Deborah Prentice and an independent investigation into the university's handling of Arday. The letter argues that Cambridge failed to properly safeguard him during an extraordinary media storm. Its authors say 249 articles were published about Arday across 22 days. Those are the campaigners' claims, and Cambridge has not accepted their accusation that its leadership contributed to his death. Then there's the public response. A GoFundMe established to support Arday's family has now closed after raising more than £224,000 from over 7,900 donations. His family says they have been deeply moved by the support, and tomorrow another chapter begins. Jason Arday's memoir, Great and Unfortunate Things, will be released as originally planned. His family says Arday was clear that he wanted the book published and that releasing it now honors his wishes, which means we're about to hear Jason Arday's story in his own words at exactly the moment everybody else is fighting over what his story meant.
You would have thought that Jason was trying to get away with murder with the way that the British press was slandering him, and now he's no longer here. So we have to fight on his behalf. So now I've been made aware of the proposal of Arday's Law, directly named after Jason Arday, where this petition demands to limit articles published on one singular person within a time frame. I've already signed it, it's on change.org, but I'll make sure to put it in the comments and on my page as well. But I can't stress enough how important this is for this proposal to actually get the attention that it needs and for it to actually be inscribed into law, because we cannot allow what happened to Jason to happen to anybody else, because that could have been you.
The argument over Jason Arday has now become an argument over Britain itself. Who gets celebrated, who gets scrutinized, who gets protected, and perhaps most importantly, who gets treated like a human being when the story becomes bigger than the person at the center of it.